Hello, hello, hello everyone, and welcome back to Honkai Star Rail. So, I still don't have any other companion missions unlocked. So, I suppose that means we are, back to the Herta space station. Oh yeah, I did accidentally trigger this mission, I believe, when I was, doing a daily mission. But, let's continue with this one first. Nope, that is the wrong way. This is also not the right way. What? Videotape Doomsday. The screen lights up. The supply zone is wide open, but the spacecraft is still under control. The faint glimmers from neutrino explosions stain the platform in a shade of yellow. In the disturbing silence, you hear increasingly rapid breathing. Breathe. Run. Open the hatch, lock the navigation interface, and move on to the next one. Until you are stopped by a pair of hands. They belong to a young geopolitics researcher with eyes like an eagle's. Eagle Castle has been destroyed, he says. This is the most direct proof of the power of the eons. In the face of the destruction of the planet, the justice sought by men is laughably insignificant. He lowers his voice. Now that the cosmic route is blocked by that thing, there's no chance you can rush back to your home planet to sound the alarm before the Antimatter Legion arrives. If you do that, you will be intercepted along the way by some evil monster with nothing but the desire to destroy. Promise me, don't go back to die. Stay here. Continue our research. The next second, the researcher is pushed aside and an intact aircraft can be seen behind him. Amidst the noise of the liftoff, you hear the geopolitics researcher shout out a name, as though you have heard it before on the radio. Sorry, a tired voice comes through from the noisy radio. The space station chose to remain neutral in the invasion by the Legion. No reinforcements will arrive. If you can, please return as soon as possible according to the scheduled route. Do you hear me? It seems this is not the first time the Legion played the bad guys. Intermittently, a name is repeated on the cosmic radio. No answer. Interesting. I wonder if that's related to the other mission I have. It might be. Leave me alone! Leave me alone! Can you, go back to where you were before? Here you are. Please turn on the terminal for me. Yep, here you go. The optical identity verification program has been set up. The terminal has sufficient computing power. Please feel free to use it. Alright. I see. Data record, Chris. Visited the official website of Star Weekly, the IPC's entertainment magazine. Blah, 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 blah. Alright, so this dude was looking at tabloid stuff, and then he tried to hire a ghostwriter. I'm not reading all of this. I imagine most of it is not terribly important. People act much more maliciously on the virtual network. He was brutally harassed online. Did he get infected by the mimetic virus during his most vulnerable moments? Right, that's what we're doing. But his speech and the style of his post are significantly different from the cliché quotes Asta had mentioned. I'm afraid he's not the infected one. Then is it Joanne? But I better not jump to a conclusion just yet. I should check Joanne's records. Yep. Can only do one a day. We already knew this! What is it? Is it broken again? It kept asking me to refresh. It seems to be some compatibility issues. Oh no, this is caused by the old units I installed into the terminal today. They looked good to me at the time, and I thought they could boost the terminal's computing power. It looks like we'll have to wait until the replacement units are delivered. Sorry, please give me some time. Let me remove these units. I assure you the existing computer power won't be affected. However, I'm afraid you'll have to come back tomorrow. I'm sure by tomorrow there will have been sufficient computing power. Oh my god, I can't talk right now. Yep, that was super short, as expected. Alright, yes, that was one of the lost videotapes we were looking for here. Did I accidentally start this, or did I just accidentally progress part of it? I don't actually remember. Point is, I did some of it off camera by mistake. Videotape dim blue dot. The point of view appears to be falling into empty space without beginning or end. The camera eventually gets focused. Now you're looking at the vast hinterland of the universe through a standard issue navigation visor. In the distance is a bright blue dot, like a condensed water droplet. You recognize it as the Herta space station. The next second, crystallized cracks spread silently across the screen. The dim blue flickers, monsters spread all over the sky, and the silent planet begins to slowly crack apart. Then comes the flashback, from a baby crying in the cradle, to the joyous laughter and the resentment in teenage years. And the space station's cold reflection before the final departure. They say your life flashes before your eyes at the final moment of your life. This video undoubtedly records the last moments of a deceased person's life. You struggle to pull yourself out of the immersive dark mud. All you hear is the intermittent cosmic radio. It seems to be calling a name you cannot hear clearly. This trip feels dangerous. It is still calling the name you cannot hear clearly. Interesting. Interesting. Letter from the Comet Hunter 3. To old friends and enemies and new ones, those of you who don't know who Hosea Lazaro is, feel free to ask the head of the Department of Implement Arts. I can still recall the man in charge of the Department of Implement Arts when I was a junior researcher trying my best at work. Wen Huairen was his name, the old man of Wenmingda. Old Miser really enjoyed cutting our research funds. He slashed the supply of instruments used to test the composition of atmosphere and soil on different planets, and used the money to buy showy antiques from the IPC, calling it business exchange. He had an eye for rare relics, I'll give him that. He bought low and sold extremely high in the interstellar market. The Department of Implement Arts was raking in profits because of this. In the meantime, we had to make do with an astro rod for planetary research. Even after I hit his face with an astro rod, he did not change a bit. Business as usual. Money for Department of Implement Arts, budget cut for Department of Cosmic Geography. Business must have been booming for the Department of Implement Arts since I left. After all, one less accountant who ran random checks and pushed for fair distribution of resources to worry about. More and more suppliers have Herta Department of Implement Arts branded on their packages. In addition to Wen Huairen, all those who bullied the Department of Cosmic Geography were taught a lesson by me, Hosea Lazaro. Many became my enemies who sought my removal from the space station, but some turned into my friends. I'm not the most amicable type, true, and I got into a lot of trouble because of that. But Wen Tianweng was the only one who gave me a proper smack. It was on me, though. I owe him that. Those old friends of mine, I know most of them are still kicking. The same goes for me. In fact, I want them to know that I have never felt better, despite the fact that I nearly kicked the bucket in the wastelands of destruction several times. My head was wanted by numerous factions thanks to my recklessness. Years of saving wasted in Masked Fool's pub. None of those matters now. I'm alive and kicking. An old friend or enemy, Hosea Lazaro. Interesting. Okay. Videotape. Justice. The camera centers on the white table in a conference room and begins to shake slowly. The scene is dense and noisy. Then a majestic voice starts reading a report about the establishment of the Herta Department of Galactic Geopolitics. The voice says that when the will of the eons is regarded as the standard, the will of man will withdraw from history accordingly. The problem is that our world favors the eons, who can reap power from their paths. Here, the strong get to make the rules and power defines justice. What the Department of Galactic Geopolitics wants to oppose is this status quo of the strong ruling over the weak. Those rights and interests ignored by the eon will be upheld by us. Those who are trampled will receive our help. We are committed to rebuilding the value of justice for humans in the cosmos. This is the proposal of the two founders, Gun Konolev and Sheila Nova. Before the voice finishes, there is already applause and jeers in the conference room. So they are the Konolevs of the Department of Galactic Geopolitics. During this passionate event, you see countless handshakes in front of the camera until you hear someone call out a name. Sheila, a powerful voice calls out, accompanied by background noises that are hard to separate from it, as if inextricably intertwined. This is the most direct proof of the power of the eons. In the face of the destruction of the planet, the justice sought by men is laughably insignificant. While you struggle to distinguish the name Sheila, you are drowned out by the murmurs in the background. These two geopolitics researchers sound familiar. Suddenly, you get a splitting headache, forcing you to give up the thought. These videotapes seem to be related. They seem to be records of different stages of life of the same person. A space radio called Sheila pursued justice for a doomed planet geopolitics researcher. The sentences in your mind suddenly become broken and disordered. In your vision, the dark cabin gradually becomes distorted and strange. You get a splitting headache and then lose consciousness. Whoa. This is the medical cabin of Herta Space Station. You fainted because of contact with improper information. Can you tell me what information you have been exposed to? The life of a geopolitics researcher. Also, the life of a person named Sheila. Whatever it is, I have cleared the mental contamination for you. Now, you'd better go for a walk and see if you have any other symptoms. Come with me. Emergency resolved. Now let's continue. Same problem this time? Well, I seem to keep forgetting things lately. I have told you many times before that it is very normal to forget things sometimes. No, I've been forgetting basic things, like my birthday, who my friends are, or how I came to the space station. Fine, just to reassure you, I will give you a full body scan using the capsule treatment module this time. There's nothing wrong with your physical functions. On the contrary, they're a little too perfect. Of course, that's your gift. After all, having a talent is not an unusual occurrence, and your talent seems to be your physical health. So, in turn, it's only fair that you might have a poor memory. With such a perfect physical condition, I better keep this on file. Let me make a record of this. What's your name? Oh yes, Dr. Joanne. My name is Sheila Nova. Sheila Nova. That's the name mentioned in the video. In the video recording, she clearly left the space station. She even died. There must be something to this. It also matches the secret Esther was talking about. I should investigate this so-called Sheila first. Don't wander around. You are affected by those videotapes. The consciousness disorder you're experiencing is no joke. This is the price you pay for being nosy. No, Joanne, it's definitely not ordinary forgetfulness. It's like someone stole my memories overnight. Maybe you had a run-in with a memo snatcher. Are you talking about those radicals in the Garden of Recollection? There's nothing those guys wouldn't do to get a hold of other people's memories. If this is their doing, ordinary treatment is not going to work. But as far as I know, those memo snatchers have never been seen in the space station. It's good to have your embarrassing memories stolen. That's a good one, ma'am. But I am sure what I have forgotten is very important, even questions like who am I? The way I see it, it won't matter as long as it doesn't affect your research. I have some questions that may help you remember. Oh, we have a memory expert here, do we? Ironic. I'd like to see what treatment you can come up with that even the medical staff don't know. Are you the founder of the Department of Galactic Geopolitics? No, ma'am. I'm just a guide in the Department of Galactic Geopolitics. I'm responsible for passing on the rules made by the big shots in the space station. I'm flattered by your question, though. Have you ever had a lover or a husband? No, ma'am. I hope to contribute my everything to the Department of Galactic Geopolitics, including my health, my dreams, and my passion. Have you ever left the space station? No, ma'am. I've never left the space station since I was born. Huh. I don't think I'll leave the space station until my soul returns to the cosmos. The answers to the questions don't match the videos at all. So, memory expert, aren't you going to cast your memory restoration spell? You sound like you're doing a survey. And what's with the videos? Those videos are records of Sheila's past. As far as I know, all those videos are records of someone's personal experience. You mean those videos you saw are backups of researcher Sheila's life? Can you elaborate on what you saw? He described what was shown in the videos. That's horrible. I don't remember any of these things. It's like listening to someone else's life. I'll try to sort it out for you guys. So, in the videos, Sheila is the founder of the Department of Galactic Geopolitics, and she left the space station and died on the way back to her home planet to warn its inhabitants about the invasion of the Legion, which doesn't match this person in front of us at all. Maybe it's someone with the same name? The Department of Galactic Geopolitics has registered the names of all its staff. I'm sure there's no one with the same name as me in the database. How come you remember this so well? It's very strange. There is also an image that I remember very clearly above all else. Rows of security monitors loom within a dark room. The scene goes on forever without a beginning or end. It is as though someone forced this image into my mind, but at the same time, it feels like a complete memory. Ma'am, since fate has brought us together, I have a request. Please help me get to the place in my memories and find those security monitors. I have a hunch that if I can just find those security monitors, Everything will become clear. Sure, I'll help you find it. Hey, don't forget, you're both patients. One has potential short-term amnesia, and the other had a temporary disturbance of consciousness. If you can't find this room at all, then maybe I am losing my mind. Alright. Supply zone. It's up here? Did I turn this guy off already? Yes, I did. Alright. I assume something will happen when I've turned all of them off. Sheila's memory is correct. This place is exactly how she described it. Maybe she's been here before. Now let's look for the security monitor she was talking about. Sheila's character script. Written by Gun Konolev. Sheila's character introduction. Huh. Sheila Nova, guide of the Herta Department of Galactic Geopolitics, is the child of two unidentified justice researchers from the space station. Her parents were both killed in the war against the Lord Ravager's destruction of her home planet Miniatur. Gun Konolev has raised her since her birth. She has gotten a proper and comprehensive education in the field of justice and has made it her mission to propagate the moral ideals of the Department of Galactic Geopolitics. She is always righteous and proper in her conduct, and she is never pessimistic in the face of injustice. She runs thought experiments on ethics in the space station on a regular basis. Notes. 1. Such a fabrication seems so pathetic in contrast to her real life. 2. Her code of conduct will be passed down to future generations. Sheila's dialogue lines. 1. Smiles. My name is Sheila Nova. 2. Elegantly. I am only a guide in the Department of Galactic Geopolitics, in charge of enforcing the regulations established by the space station's leaders on a regular basis. 3. Enthusiastically. I pledge myself to the Department of Galactic Geopolitics and to justice itself, with my health, dreams, and greatest passions. 4. Sad. I have never left the space station since my birth. I don't think I'll leave the station till my soul returns to the cosmos. The script is exactly what Sheila said when she answered my questions. Is someone watching her and writing her dialogues? Or is someone controlling her speech? And this Gun Konolev, what experiment was he talking about? I have to get this information to Sheila as soon as possible. Then we can work out what the secret is. I think I know what's going on here. I did get spoiled some time ago about a mission on the space station that I had not done yet. And, yeah, I think I know what's going on here. Oh, you're too late. Everything's been dealt with. I found the information. Gunn from the Department of Galactic Geopolitics came in and temporarily took over the authority of the medical cabin, saying he knows how to cure Sheila. In return for letting him use the medical cabin, he helped our department compile a list of patient confidentiality clauses. With that, no matter how influential a visitor is, they must follow the department's rules. This will greatly improve the privacy of doctors and patients alike. Open the door. You heard her. We are working internally on a patient confidentiality agreement. You look like you're in a rush. Whatever. Our department isn't involved. You can deal with your own problems. I'm performing treatment on this young guide from the Department of Galactic Geopolitics. Do you two have a good reason for breaking in here? I think you have ulterior motives. Look, like I said, I'm helping this guide from the Department of Galactic Geopolitics. Although there was a little accident, it was not serious and far from being a conspiracy. She seems to have temporarily lost consciousness, but her vitals are okay. By the way, I haven't introduced myself yet. I'm Gunn, the founder of the Department of Galactic Geopolitics. As you can see, I have the knowledge and authority that matches my age. If you don't leave, I will have security take you away on the grounds of interfering with medical procedures. There's nothing we can do. His authority is higher than mine, second only to the likes of Chief Arlen. Let's wait outside for now. Let's just call the security department on him now. No, why don't you take a look at what I have here? Why do you have my manuscript? I distinctly remember putting it away a long time ago. It seems that you may have misunderstood its content. To tell you the truth, I'm a theater enthusiast. I've written a play or two myself in my spare time. It's pure fiction. I see you have a lot of doubts about me. Why don't we have a chat? Maybe we can be friends? That's right. If you have anything important to say, spill it. This manuscript talks about a mysterious experiment. The so-called experiment is just a part of my hobby. Some people like gardening, I prefer to write plays. Surely you can't be so naive as to think this has anything to do with what you see here right now, are you? Sheila has been reciting the script you wrote in advance. Oh, you've spoken to her. That's very observant of you. Most people wouldn't notice this without paying close attention. Let me put it this way. I wrote that so-called script by imitating Sheila's speech. It is still fictional. That should clear up any misunderstandings you may have. I think you have ulterior motives. That's just your personal speculation. Do you have any other evidence? If not, there's no need to continue this conversation. I'm not going to leave. What are you talking about? Is this another residual effect of watching those videos? Right, the videos. What videos? What are you talking about? I saw you on the videos. What? How could you have seen Gunn in Sheila's videos? Given their age difference, if you saw a young Gunn in the videos, Sheila must have been a baby at the time. But that's not what you saw. Unless the Sheila in front of us is now neither the owner of the videos, nor the real Sheila Nova. Yeah. If there is a so-called conspiracy or some kind of experiment, then it can only mean one thing. She is impersonating Sheila under false pretenses. No, not exactly. And she's strictly following Gunn's script. Yep, it all makes sense now. You too. I must say, this is all very entertaining to watch. Well, since you found the video, I suppose I can't hide it anymore. Who would have thought this tiny experiment of mine could attract so much interest? What happens next may surprise you, but no matter what you see or hear, please be patient until the end. You better tell the truth. Don't embellish it. Sheila, reconnect. We have something to ask you. Yes, Mr. Gunn, but I don't feel so good. Sheila, are you okay? Now you can give her some instructions, like pray, sing, or shout. Be sure to do what I say first. Remember, the instructions include pray, sing, and shout. Give instructions to Sheila, who is back online. Yep. Hello, I am Sheila Nova, your guide to the Herta Department of Galactic Geopolitics. Sheila, sing. What the heck is going on? Yes, a smart person may have guessed by now. This all happened because I was too idealistic with my initial experiment design. I thought I could restore Sheila to her original self relying only on a script and some technology. Unfortunately, a limited script will never be able to simulate a person's natural reaction in the real world. So I tried letting her watch videos from the past, hoping that she could get a better understanding of how to be human. But I didn't expect Sheila, or should I say Prototype 157, to become so human. She started to think more and more like a real person. She even realized that another Sheila, who looked exactly like her, once existed in this world. That was when she began to doubt her own existence. This is very dangerous for an android. The plot thickens. To be honest, it was an eye-opener for me as well. No wonder her body scan showed that her parameters were almost perfect. It was like a well-calibrated machine. That's right, the experiment I referred to is this perfect recreation of a young Sheila standing before you. She was modeled after the co-founder of the Department of Galactic Geopolitics, and the love of my life, Sheila Nova. She died in the vast ocean of stars a long time ago. The reason I made Prototype 157 is that I wanted to make up for my regret of not saving my true love when I had the chance. When she found out that she is not a real person, in order to prevent cognitive confusion, I had to erase her memory again and again, to restore her settings and maintain her normal operation. But she still remembered where you hid your information. I underestimated her. Or rather, she has surpassed my imagination. So when I found out that Sheila was being treated by researcher Joanne in the medical cabin, I came as soon as I could to try to fix her cognition once again. You won't succeed this time. Indeed, I cannot let this cycle go on any longer. No matter how we deal with Sheila, I beg you, please don't make this experiment public. The ethical issues are bound to be investigated by the Department of Galactic Geopolitics. Please, forgive this old man who was just trying to mourn his dead wife. I'm just a bystander. It's not my decision. I think you have 3 choices right now. 1. Tell Prototype 157 the truth about her life. 2. Fix and factory reset Prototype 157. 3. Destroy Prototype 157 and erase all records of this dangerous experiment from the history of the space station. As the leader of this investigation, it's up to you to make the final decision. As for Gunn, I'll keep an eye on him. Have you really thought it through? I feel like it's probably not going to go well, but I think we should tell her the truth. Well, since you insist, I'll tell Prototype 157 about her story. But how she is going to react to that is completely beyond my control. Gunn carries out your decision and leaves the medical cabin in silence. You doing all right, Sheila? How do you feel? Like I just had a very long dream. Can an android dream of electronic sheep? No, what did you dream about? I dreamed of a cold space station, a lost lover, a huge planet, and a silent radio. So, I'm a mechanical replica of a real person. My life is a parody of the dead. My thoughts, my speech, and even my behavior are the product of Mr. Gunn's preset. How ridiculous. After learning that the other me had such a rich life, I wish I had my own birthday, my own friends, and my own dreams. Take your time. Everything will happen in due course. Is it my wish? Or perhaps I do have my own birthday, my own friends, and my own dream. Oh no, there seems to be a problem with her language module. Her various functional indicators are fluctuating sharply. Thank you. I'm just a guide in the Department of Galactic Geopolitics. I think there is an even longer dream waiting for me, one where I willingly dedicate everything to the department. Anyway, thank you and farewell. Her cognitive module was burned out due to information overload. It seems that telling her the truth was a bad decision. Alas, even the most advanced diagnostic equipment couldn't detect the difference between her and a real person. Except, on the side of her neck, there is a vague mark with the number 157. No need to blame yourself. No one could have foreseen this outcome. It's not your fault. By the way, you still have Sheila's videos there? It's time to return them to their rightful place. Cheer up and let everything go back to the way it was. Man, that blows.
Thinking about work gives me a full-body migraine.
Experience other people's lives with your very own eyes. That is the charm of those videos. I brought them all back. 3. Not one too many. You've worked hard, young one. Sit down and have a rest. In return, I want to tell you a story I heard God knows when. You want to hear it? Go on. Once, in the Department of Galactic Geopolitics, there were two well-known young people. They were not only comrades in arms with similar interests, but also a couple who pushed each other to become better. They were committed to fighting for the weak and upholding justice for those who were trampled by eons and their factions. Until one day, justice was no longer just an ideal. A Lord Ravager came to the female researcher's hometown, and her home planet was about to be destroyed. For the first time ever, the two disagreed on how justice should be implemented in this scenario. The female researcher chose to return to her home planet alone to alert them of disaster. But unexpectedly, an accident occurred along her journey. At the time, the star rail was blocked by a Stellaron, and her spacecraft was also stranded in the path of the Antimatter Legion. In absolute fear, she chose to call the Herta space station for help. However, the space station had chosen to remain neutral in all actions involving the Eons, and the operator responsible for relaying this ruthless message was none other than the male researcher himself. Through the radio, he personally... Oh, jeez. Through the radio, he personally witnessed how his stranded lover ran out of oxygen in the damaged aircraft, and how she slowly died, drifting into the endless darkness. For some reason, this tragic story just came to mind today. Thought I'd share it with you. This must have been tormenting for him. Maybe. However, I believe that in his long life, he must have found a way to make up for the past and obtain peace. Well, that's all for today. Please take these rewards. I hope to see you again in the future. After all, there are still many secrets in this world waiting to be unearthed. Jeez. That was messed up, man. That was messed up. I got a standard pass. Alright, let's do a few polls before we sign off on this video. Come on, you're not gonna make me have... You're not gonna just be nothing but 3 stars, alright? Boo! Alright. Well, I will see you all next time.